Welcome to the Black Men Think podcast. If this is your first time here, know that the views and opinions expressed by the Black Men Think podcast are those of the Black Men Think podcast and not the individual members. With that being said, we're about to be unapologetically, undeniably black. Enjoy.
What's up, fellas?
Nothing, man.
Hola. Hola. It's hot in here too, boy.
Yeah.
This is Georgia weather, man.
Mm-hmm.
Switch up on you and everything. Yeah, man. Welcome to the Black Man Think podcast. We are back off of vacation.
Yeah.
Mo, turn that mic that way.
This way.
There you go.
Gracias.
Yo, thought he was in the studio.
Gracias. I was ready to put some vocals down. Can you woo, woo, woo?
Yeah, man. But so we're here back. As y'all can tell, we fresh off of vacation.
Indeed.
Shout out to Torri, our Patreon family. Y'all saw Torri with the special message for y'all. So let's just dive right into it, bro. Like,
Feliz cumpleaños. Mi amigo.
Appreciate it, brother. I really appreciate it.
I want to go back. That's all I can say.
Oh, man.
oh yeah,
It was a
definitely.
good time. Good time was had.
Definitely was a good time, man. Good time, much needed. I'll say that for sure.
Yeah.
And well needed time with wifey too. You know what I mean? Like I think it was the perfect trip for me because it gave me an opportunity to like chill with the fam, but also like chill with the homies. Mm-hmm. And we had an opportunity to kind of like mix and mingle.
That was a first, man.
I think it was.
Like that was a first for. I mean, we've been on a trip before. The last time we can remember, me and my wife were talking about this is the cabin.
Oh yeah,
All of our couples went somewhere together, but that was in Georgia. I mean, we were in Cancun a couple weeks ago, you know, and that was special.
Everybody wasn't married then either. Well,
No, not then, not back then.
Nobody was married.
I just say
I think Ace and Naja were
Ace and Naja was
married.
married.
They were
Yeah, they were married.
Yeah,
they was the
yeah.
only ones.
They were married, and I know I had bought the ring.
Yes.
I do remember. I was, but I had not proposed.
I think I was engaged.
You got engaged before us?
I
No.
believe so.
Did you?
We
When
got
did you get
engaged
engaged?
in February of, like we were 6 months. So
I was
Engagement?
engaged. I was unofficially engaged. I didn't have the ring yet.
Okay,
but I
but
had
you
proposed in like November.
gotcha. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, we that cabin trip, that was probably the last one
Yeah, it was that we all went together.
with our better half.
That's about 12 years ago.
God, yeah,
Easily.
definitely 10 at minimum. Cause
I mean, well, yeah, because hell, we've been married for
We've been
going on
11,
years.
so that's about 12 years
happy
ago.
12.
Yeah.
Hey.
Dang.
Yeah, bro. It took a minute. It took a minute for us to get back together. But I mean, what a better way? Like
Oh
that.
yeah.
That the reason I say that was a first. I've never been anywhere with that many couples.
Yeah,
Same.
yeah.
I mean, 31 people.
33.
33 people.
And how many couples?
At least 15,
15.
16, right?
15? No, because Sue was single. Like I know,
LJ, and my brother-in-law.
brother-in-law. That was it.
That was it.
Oh,
Oh, and what's her name? But she also had 15.
Yeah, 15. Yeah, 15.
Yeah, so 3 people
That's
were
crazy.
in and out, yeah.
15 successful, well, doing great for themselves. Parents
Yeah.
on break in Cancun.
yeah.
Shout out to your wife and shout out to Roomby James' wife, man.
Yeah.
Amazing planning for that trip. Because that was a first for me, man. That was special.
Yeah, that was special for me as well because, it took looking at the picture, that picture when we was all in the pool. I was just like, yo, like, bro, it's a lot of black people.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
And we was like, it wasn't no rah-rah going on. No, everybody there was on the right type of time.
Right.
And we were all, even though we didn't all know each other, we all knew each other through somebody else that we highly respected. So it was, the love was there for all these people.
Right.
Which was so unique. It was so unique in a space where it's just like, yo, bro, like, I don't know you, but I'm talking to you like we fam right now.
Yep. Yeah.
And we did that for like several days in a row. You know what I mean? So yeah, that trying to plan the next one.
Yeah, man, I really didn't want it to end, man. And it was just so many people that were like, hey, make sure we're on the list for the next trip, like, period, like, like literally.
Yeah.
So it was really good, the level of Black excellence as well. I mean, we had people from every industry you could think about, and it was just a really good drama-free.
Yeah.
Drama-free, bro. And I don't know, somebody, it might have been Lorenzo, somebody mentioned it. They was just like, bro, ain't no couples beefing.
Nobody, bro. Everybody was like,
because I mean, let's keep it a buck, bro. Like, couples do have their spats here and there, and sometimes people go on vacation hoping that those spats go away, and they still be there.
definitely.
And for us to have that type of vacation, and of course, somebody could have been beefing, but it didn't show.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. That's what was important, that everybody looked like they were enjoying themselves and their spouses. Nobody looked like they were tired of their spouses.
Right.
It was just a good trip, bro. Overall good trip.
You talk about success, man. We had lawyers, doctors, nurses, people in leadership and senior leadership teams across organizations, real estate. Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Entrepreneurs. Like, I mean, it was definitely a sight to behold, but it was a sight to behold because usually you don't see that many Black people together thriving, but also low key taking over. Like, like calling shots, taking over a whole restaurant almost, you know, one of the exclusive restaurants on the resort, having a lineup of rooms, swim ups with the beach view, and having daily parties. Just doing it how we do.
Yeah.
Unapologetically. Not to mention taking over a catamaran and
oh yeah, I forgot about the catamaran.
and arriving.
But I'm still waiting on that footage.
Yeah.
That's the one, like, we got a WhatsApp group full of, like, everybody's in this WhatsApp group. And we just throwing content in there and having camaraderie and the entire time. But I'm still waiting on that footage of us pulling in onto the dock.
No, that was
playing International Players Anthem.
That was fire.
Crazy.
And before that, it was swag surfing.
Swag surfing. So swag surfing to International Players Anthem, pulling up to the dock. And we out there 33 deep in black. And people looking like, I need to be on that boat.
Right.
I need to be on that boat.
Yeah, man.
It was the life of the party.
It was life of the party.
It was a good time. Really good time, man.
Yeah, that was definitely special, man.
Yeah, just everywhere we went, you just saw the party come with us. So it was, especially at the clubs at night as well.
Yeah.
There's some footage.
There is some footage.
My boy Torri was feeling saucy, boy.
Hey, listen, we done came up around Torri for a long time.
Yeah.
I was telling Nadine, I said, I've seen Torri dance the night away.
Yeah.
I've never seen Torri that lit in my lifetime.
And like Torri can be the life of the party, for sure. That boy was having a good time that night.
I was having a party by myself. I ain't need nobody.
Hey, man, that's you, bro. Like that's just good energy, man. Like, it was good energy. It was good music being played, and you were having a good time. We all were having a good time. Number one, so that was a sight to see. Yeah. Definitely a sight to see. I caught like probably like 10 seconds of it. I got it.
Well, you need to share that in the Yeah, I mean, for real, like that, we might have messed around and slipped up on a travel group. You know, like that's a special
I can
group
see
of
myself
people.
doing a gig with that group of people.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was definitely well needed, well deserved, and it opened people's eyes. You can't always just be in your same circle.
Yeah.
And so that's one thing that I really appreciate was now I have some new people to bring into a certain circle.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I just think it's something that people need to do once a year, actually.
Yeah.
And if you can't do it once a year, maybe once every other year, because I definitely think it's something that you need to put on your list of things that you need to make sure that you do.
Yeah. No, I agree, man. It wholeheartedly had a great time from start to finish. I'll say my only down on the trip was I just wish that I could have explored a little bit more. but also knowing where we were at, and I understood that exploration probably wasn't the best thing.
Yeah, nah, you don't really go off the grid and
But
Mexico.
I think that's probably the one thing that I and really we kind of got it on the way to the catamaran.
Right.
Getting that scenery, it was a couple pockets where I was just like, dang, I wish we could just get off and like kind of just walk around for a little bit and experience, because that was my first time in Mexico. So just trying to get more experience with the people. I mean, exposure with the people. But yeah, outside of that, bro, I'll put it like this: if you're ever in Mexico, Cancun to be specific, or it's actually wasn't even, it was something else.
Yeah, don't get me that line.
Puerto Morelos. It wasn't quite
It was
Playa
right
del
out.
Carmen.
No, it was because I kept seeing on my phone when I was checking the weather.
Yeah.
Slightly out, but anyway, if you're ever in the Cancun, Mexico area, and you're looking for a high class resort, just search the Haven.
Yes.
Haven was nice.
You will not be disappointed. I think everybody who came had some type of upgrade, whether it was Serenity Club or upgraded. Like y'all came
Swim
there
up.
and
Did not get the swim up. Did not purchase the
did
swim
not
up,
purchase
but
the
ended
swim
up with
and
the
just
swim
like upgraded to the swim up. It was a good experience, man, and they made sure everybody had a good time. And I highly recommend the Haven if y'all do go to Cancun. Just look them up, and trust me, you'll have a good time. Food was A1. Everything was good. Yeah.
So what? Who is it? Corey next?
Yeah. Yep.
Next for what?
40. It has to be him.
Yeah. Corey's next for 40. Yeah. Corey, then
Brian.
everybody.
No, Brian is
Brian
last.
is-
Yeah, Brian
Brian
is
is
last.
last.
Yeah. So it's Corey. Then
No, you and Corey. That's close. That's what it was. Yeah.
after Corey, then it would be Chris.
I'm round the way.
Then Ace. Then me.
Then me.
Then you.
Then
Yep.
Brian.
No, I'm tripping. Hold on. Chris is
May.
May. So so Chris, me. No, Chris, Ace, me,
You,
Marlon,
and then Brian.
Yeah.
then Brian. Yeah.
So we had a lot of celebrating to do, man.
A lot of celebrating, man. 40 is a big year. Wifey already talking about, what you gonna do? I'm like, you should just go to Vegas. And I was like, cool.
Hey, man, I just want to say, you've been the king of the permission slip lately, bro.
Hey, man, look, bro.
Slip sign, brother.
I figured out what it is. My wife is also turning 40. So I got these permission slips signed because her 40th is, in a week.
That fast?
Wait, like in a week now? Coming up?
Her birthday's on the 6th.
Oh, hers is before mine, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
Y'all a week apart.
So
Dang.
I ain't gonna ask you to spill the plan on the podcast because she be listening, but do you have a plan? Is the question.
I do have a plan.
Okay.
I have a plan.
Man, I wish you had told me we could have.
I know. Yeah.
Man,
Bro,
dang.
she had a good time. She was enjoying herself. So I mean, the thing is about my wife, she's not a. I mean, I can't do a party. Parties out she's.
That's hard, man. It's hard to plan a surprise party.
Yeah, no, like she don't want that. Like I tried doing
gotcha.
a surprise party back in the day, and she kicked me up under the table because it was just like it's too. She don't want that type of attention. So I have some things planned. There's a couple of items that she's been kind of like talking about, and so I got those items unbeknownst to her. And then, so really, I'm playing off of 4 because I was like, I wanted to do 40, but I was just like, 40 is a lot. Just being real, like my initial idea, I wanted to have like 40 gifts, but I went to thinking about it. I was like, bro, 40 gifts.
Just like 2 years ago.
I was about to say.
Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, I'm just keeping it a buck, bro. Like, that is a lot. Even if you're not, I'm not even saying like monetarily, but just like the thought to put into 40,
Yeah, it takes a lot of
different
effort.
things.
It's a lot of effort.
40 different things is a lot, and it would take cooperation from other people, and I don't want to have to rely on other people for, to make this work. Like, I had some ideas where I was just like, oh, I'm gonna reach out to some of her friends and stuff. Like, I was just like, you know what? No, because if they can't do it, then now that turns to a whole nother problem. I was like, no, we're not gonna do it. So instead of that, I'm doing 4. So I'm doing 4 things. I'm doing one. I mean, it's 4 gifts, so to speak. So one is something that she needs. One is something that she wants. The other is something that she's not expecting. And then the 4th one is like something from like the girls.
Gotcha.
And so,
Oh, that's good.
yeah, just trying to, I was like, I felt that would be a better thing to do. And depending on how this Vegas trip go, we might have a 5th gift. So,
Heard.
So I feel you, my boy.
so, if we go down to Vegas with a dream and then that dream comes true, then I got something in the tuck that.
He said the dream come true.
Yeah, but I'm just big because to do that, that's like, it's something she like casually mentioned, and I'm just like, can I make? I mean, honestly, it's not hard to make happen, but it's just
Right.
It would take. We got to get a sitter, which is not hard to do, but also like, bro, we coming off of Mexico, we about to have anniversary. It's just
They line up.
bro. It's so.
Our anniversary is right after.
On the 8th, I don't know what I was thinking about. And I got a daughter whose birthday is on the 22nd.
I was just gonna say that.
I don't know what I was thinking. My September is wife birthday, anniversary, daughter birthday.
Yeah, we've literally gone my birthday, Tori's birthday trip, our anniversary's coming up, and then her birthday, and then Christmas hit right after that. I need to do some of them focus groups. Need a little extra cash.
I'm right there with y'all. It's my birthday, Tasha's birthday, then our anniversary.
Yeah, man.
Back to back.
Yeah. That fall run is always a doozy. With how we gonna do this? I don't know, but we gonna do it.
We're gonna do it. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, I think she's gonna enjoy those things. That I went the gift route this time. I normally try to go a different route, like more of a mixed bag, but this time I went the gift route and kind of left the other one open to interpretation. So we're gonna see what happens.
I got another year. I'm start putting my brain on it.
I mean, dog, like the 40, it depends on your spouse, bro. Like if your spouse is the type that like to be on the scene, then you can make some things happen. But 40 is.
Go ahead and get y'all the heads up. My wife's 40 is next year. Okay. Have your passports ready if you need to get them back ready.
Say less.
Hey, sure, I'm good until I think I got 2028.
I think that's what mine is.
Yeah, mine is 28. Yep.
Yeah, so yeah,
Say less.
Hey, I'm with that. I'm with that for sure. Trying to put as many stamps on that thing as we can.
I know that's right.
Shifting gears a little bit. I know, Mo, you had something you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, man. Wife had an interesting scenario happen at work today. So honestly, just kind of wanted to throw this out there for the thinkers, for all the listeners out there, and for you guys, man.
So I was about to get ready to go for it.
To see how do we handle that? Like, how do we handle this situation? And just to go ahead and add a disclaimer, I'm going to pass my glass down too.
I was going to say, add some context to what you're talking about.
Yeah, just, this is the life and times of white privilege approaching. Let me go ahead and lay it out for you guys. So just imagine yourself sitting in an office. Let's say you work in a call center. Few people at work that day. Let's say there is another colleague who's black like you. And then there's a manager. She's a white person. And then there's another colleague who's a white person. You hear the non-manager white person just kind of having a loud conversation with the manager. Again, two white ladies, all women, by the way. Saying, man, did you read that email? They just received an email from corporate or whatever. So apparently they're giving us Juneteenth off and not Christmas Eve. I would have rather had Christmas Eve. I mean, I need me a redhead vacation day too or something.
Man, wasn't a Caucasian.
Imagine, first of all, your reaction for a comment like that, blaring it out across the air. loud enough for everyone to hear, to the point where I received the text that I forwarded to y'all earlier. Like, we got to talk about this, because my wife was about ready to snap. And then, granted, it turned into her colleague, who was black, also. Like, basically, my wife is the type where she's ready to go to 0 to 60. The colleague was so heartbroken by it that she's almost in tears.
Of listen to the colleague's statement. She's emotional about it.
Both are emotional in different ways. But to the point where I had to like say, all right, I'm not gonna say anything else to you because I don't need to boost you up right now. Like you ready to go off, and I don't want you to take it there because you're ready. Now, thankfully, well, first let me ask you guys. Let me just ask everyone. Here's the real question that came to my brain. How do we as black people respond to those moments in the corporate setting? How should we? How do we? Just however you want to take it, guys. I want to toss this one up in the air.
Man, I mean, it's tough, bro. Like, honestly, it's tough. And the reason why it's tough is because we're the only group that have to ask the question how to respond.
Man, that's the first thing I thought about. Like, why do we even have to consider?
Right. We have to consider how we respond to those scenarios. Like, if you ask me just on a whim, and especially how it happened, like, I'd probably be like, huh? Like, I might ask for clarification. I'm like, what happened? Just on some.
Right.
I want you to. I want you to. I want you to repeat it so I can make sure that I'm not tripping.
Right.
Before I respond.
I respond. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if I get that same energy again, it's tough, bro, because on one hand, you can be on 10 ready to go. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, it might be a teachable moment.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And so you have to kind of balance the two. Now, the way that she spoke it was with bravado. She didn't give a damn about Juneteenth. Nah. And that's the energy on some like, oh, you one of them ones.
Literally, the quote was, this is just another day.
So I probably would have said, excuse me, do you know the significance of Juneteenth?
There you go. There you go.
Then, depending on what they say from that, then I might either be professional Torri or Torri out the 5. So I think that response would have dictated which way we go. Yeah. Because to your point, I think a lot of times, when you talk about cultures not necessarily understanding other cultures, right, or just blissful ignorance, right?
Yeah.
A lot of Caucasians don't really know the significance or the importance of Juneteenth.
That's correct.
The majority of black people know what Juneteenth is, right? Yeah. But a lot of them don't. And so I try to give them that grace. Mm-hmm. So that's the professional Torri, the Christian Torri that's talking right now.
Right.
Until I know otherwise that, oh, no, you the other one. Yeah. You Karen's sister.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to
have to handle you accordingly.
Yeah, so I'm going to handle you accordingly and let Tyrone come and talk to you for a second. So that's probably how I would have played it.
I got you.
Because I do want to first see what their understanding of the situation is for it, because it's not just a holiday for the sake of a holiday.
No.
And and just make sure that they really understand that.
Yeah, like I said, I know my wife. She she will tell you, she'll be the first to tell you, like, temper is something that she's growing. She's growing through. Whenever she gets to I put it like this: I know when I get a certain type of text message from my wife where it's already at. It's already at a certain point. And I was like, okay, let me not add to this, even though I'm feeling it from a distance and I want her to go in. I'm like, let me not add to it because I don't want to put her in a position where she's not going to be able to control herself.
Right.
Gotcha.
Thankfully, she took a moment. Thankfully, also, the other black lady in the room was having a moment to the point where she got up. My wife wasn't even there yet. She couldn't do it. She was like, I need to breathe. But the other lady got up and went into the manager's office, and my wife overheard her addressing it and starting to speak to the manager about it, saying how offensive it was. So my wife got up, and they both had a joint conversation with the manager about how offended they were at the other colleague's comments. Needless to say, it led to a moment where that colleague got called back into the manager's office. It got addressed. It got addressed as a whole group, and my wife and the other black lady were able to educate this woman. First of all, this woman didn't have a clue what Juneteenth was.
Yeah,
She it was oblivious. That's why she said it was another day.
yeah,
But she apologized in the moment. Blah blah blah. However, later on, she talks so loud, and apparently she has this country accent and all this kind of other stuff. She was on the phone, I guess, whispering to someone else, saying, I didn't really say, and basically taking the white way out.
yeah.
Taking the white way out.
No accountability.
No accountability. Yeah. You say what you needed to say in the moment, and then it fell off. Fell on deaf ears immediately after that. So my wife continued to feel extremely offended by that. And our conversation later on, I was just like, babe, like let's here's the real piece of this. Your manager didn't even address it until it was a problem. I think later on she was coming around with DEI statements and, just trying to recalibrate the whole room and all this kind of stuff. I said that was reactionary.
Yeah.
But the reality is she was the first person to hear the comment and nothing was said in the moment. I said, let me tell you why she went crazy later on trying to make things right. I said, because she has an HR issue on her hands. Because you can absolutely escalate this to the point where it's a whole issue.
1,000%. And the fact that there was multiple people who had a problem.
Yeah.
Like it's different when it's like a one-on-one scenario because now it's left up to interpretation.
Right? Yep.
But when you have two people who were offended, it's like, okay, obviously something was done wrong here. This wasn't like happenstance. This was like, yo, we got two people who instantly felt offended.
Right.
By two white people. One who said it, but one who didn't react and had the authority to react. And I was, and we were both talking about it. She was just like, no, I get it. She was like, but I don't know. I'm not trying to do. I said, babe, that's the problem. We are always in a situation where we are trying to outthink ourselves and not hold people accountable. I said, forget that. I said, straight up, honestly, you have 120% full rights to email corporate, to have a full DEI training up in there for all those people who were involved, and XYZ, and it really as far as you want to take it at this point.
Because 9 times out of 10, it probably is something that needs to happen.
Yeah.
It needs to happen.
And that's regardless of this particular issue.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be something that talks about really pushing diversity.
Yeah.
And inclusion and equity, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, because a lot of times it's just lip service. And so
Exactly.
And when you have these moments that come up, I think a lot of times people are, like you said, are reactionary, but they're not really understanding, don't really get it. And you need to take it to that next step for the training and educational purpose. Not necessarily for the punishment.
Right.
For the training and educational. So that now okay, this serious. We need to make sure that we're sensitive. Because on the other hand, we have to be culturally, when we're in leadership roles as blacks, we have to be conscious of every little thing.
Correct.
There's no gray area. There's no room for error. We have to understand, and then as black men as well, from a sexual harassment perspective. I think that all of these things, it's about really teaching and enforcing and just making sure that people understand what the culture is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. There's accountability that needs to be had in this situation. And, it's just something I wanted to throw out because, all I know is we always second guess the right thing.
Yeah.
Because we're always in a position where we feel we wear more responsibility when we're offended than we should.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
We wear the responsibility when the responsibility should be on the offender.
Correct.
And in this situation, that offender needs to be educated, and they should be forced to go through the education.
Correct.
Hands down.
100%. Yeah. You said a word there, man. It's just that, for one, I want us to be able to find space to get out of that, because that most of the time that's our initial reaction to just like try to be safe for try to be safe for them. I don't mean it like that, but you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
It's like you have to. You feel like you have to apologize for being offended.
Yeah, bro.
That's what it is.
Like, apologize for being offended because you don't want to rub somebody the wrong way, and now this turns into something else, and now you're in the office as the person that, oh well, we can't say nothing around this person. Like Justin, everything we say around him, like, oh, we got to be careful around.
Right.
You know, you don't want to be that person in the office, but at the same time, you also don't want to be that person that's being stepped on.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because if you feel a certain type of way, you feel a certain type of way. It is what it is.
Yep.
And you know, I think, especially with something like that, I'm not gonna say that the lady didn't know what Juneteenth was, because there's a possibility that she didn't know, right? However, the fact that she felt the right to say it without any consequence, like that was a real thought of hers. Like it's the equivalent of me saying, like, St. Patrick's Day, not even realizing that, hey, maybe that's offensive to somebody that means something to something. And I know St. Patrick's Day is not really the holiday to use, but I'm using that as a safe example. You know what I mean?
And you know what? She felt, now thinking back through it, it's even more serious. She knew who she could say it to.
Bingo.
Of course.
Bingo.
Of course.
She didn't go to my wife's cubicle to say
That's
that.
and that's why I'm saying that to say she know what Juneteenth.
She know what Juneteenth is.
That's all. That's really what I'm trying to get
the optics are now clear.
Yeah.
So let me. So when I say they don't know what Juneteenth, they know what Juneteenth is, but they don't know the significance, and the history, and the depth of Juneteenth.
Right.
They know Juneteenth
They know
is
Juneteenth.
about black
Right,
people.
right.
Let's be clear.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
definitely
facts.
do know that because it's been on the news.
Right.
Right.
So they know what Juneteenth is from a high level
Yes.
perspective.
Absolutely.
But which is why they also can say, oh, they think it's just another holiday. But even knowing it, now that I talk about it, even knowing on that face level, they still know what it's associated.
Yeah, no, but it's associated
what it
with,
is,
bro.
man.
Like that was a statement for her to make because she felt how she felt. She was like, "No, I'd rather have Christmas Eve off." And you know what? She might not. If I'm being honest, that statement saying that she would rather have Christmas Eve off, she probably really does. Rather have Christmas
100%.
Eve off. But it was the disregard
Correct.
for it was more offensive.
That's exactly what my wife said.
Yeah, it's a
she
disregard.
explained to her, she was like, this is not about Christmas Eve. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not even here for that part of the
There
day.
you go. Bingo.
This is about your disregard for
Yeah.
a very important day for other people in this office.
Yeah, there you go. That's what it's more about, in my opinion. It's yeah, okay, cool. I want Christmas Eve off too.
Yeah,
like
we all do.
All right, we all do. Nobody don't want to work on Christmas Eve, but
And not either or, I want and.
I want and.
both.
There you go.
Both of
Let's
them.
be clear.
Both of them.
Both of them.
I'm not talking about either or. I want and.
I want both of them, but like you said, it's the disregard, bro. It's just like, I don't. It was the I don't care about that.
Correct.
Like y'all already got Martin Luther King. Like
That's how
Y'all got Black History Month. Yeah,
you know what I'm
that's
saying?
exactly how that came up.
And so, yeah, I feel you on that.
Yeah, we got to be bolder about
100%.
Combating bigotry and ignorance. So we just got to be more bold.
Right.
Not. We shouldn't second guess what we know to be true.
Yeah.
And we know why we do that. I mean, we've been conditioned to second guess ourselves. But Black people, say what you got to say. Be bold about what you know, and stand for what you know is right, man. And at the end of the day, these white people need education, and they deserve education. And if they put themselves in a situation where they are forced to have it, make sure they get it.
Yeah.
I'll just add to that as my closing thought is that don't apologize for being offended.
Correct.
Be respectful, but don't apologize. That to me, those are the delineations, and they are the ones that's gonna pop off. Like you take them that they at 100. But to your point, if you want to educate people, if you want to make sure that you convey the appropriate thoughts, be respectful, but also don't apologize for being offended by what somebody says, because you are the only one that can manage your feelings and how you feel about something. And if it offends you, you should let people know, hey, this offends me. This is why it offends me. This is how we can move forward. And that's, I think everybody can respect that.
That's good.
I agree with both of y'all. The only thing that I'll add is just salute to your wife for speaking up on that, because that's something
job,
that she
babe.
could have easily just kept internal, and
And that would have affected her for years.
it would have affected her for years. And truth be told, it would have affected home.
Yeah.
100%.
You know what I mean? Because she's pissed off at work, and it's something that she don't really want to, go into. And it's gonna show at home. So the fact that she communicated that to you like on the spot, like kudos to her, bro, because that nipped everything in the bud. It's like, yo, this is exactly how I'm feeling. Babe, thank you for being here to calm me down off the ledge. Like, so many things happened in that moment that if she didn't
right.
communicate with you, who knows, bro? Like, she could have got fired.
You're right.
You
You're
know
absolutely
what I'm saying?
right.
Like, so that shout out to her, man, just for having that I can't think of the word, the know-withal, to just say, like, you know what? Am I tripping? Let me hit up my husband real quick. Let me make sure, like, let me see what he think about this.
Yeah.
And then you having the knowledge and being able to say, you know what, babe, you right, but also knowing your wife in that moment and say, like, I'm not about to amp her up because, like, she ready to go.
ready.
She ready. So,
ready to go.
so let me calm her down, bring her back, and then, like, okay, acknowledge that, yeah, but I understand where you're coming from, but, like, let's just, dial it back, and then you can learn from that. But so that was a great job done by the Montgomerys as a whole.
I'm telling you.
The little pro tips, just some nuggets just given right there.
But one thing I say that we should do in a future podcast, so, listeners beware, is to really get Lasana, me, you, Chris, and talk about that from the C-suite level. Because we've all been into that vice president area, right?
Correct.
And so I think that'll be a great topic.
That's a good conversation.
And we're young,
Correct.
Yeah.
under 40.
Right.
And
the
have rich
perspective
skill level.
is-
To get that perspective
Yep.
of how I think that'd be a great podcast, or maybe a series to just talk about that from that level. Because I know a lot of times we're the only black people in the room
Man, listen.
to talk about stuff
Indeed.
Absolutely.
I have so many thoughts. Yeah, we're gonna have to bring that one back.
Yeah,
That's a
bring
good.
it. Write it down so we can make sure we get it done. Yeah. But look, this has been the Black Man Thing podcast. If we got to mention at the top, look, if y'all like the conversation that we're having here, we're having other conversations on our Patreon. In order to get those conversations, you got to pay a little bit of scratch, a little bit of, it don't even cost as much as Netflix costs you right now.
That part.
It's half of what Netflix will cost you. So go to our Patreon account. It's patreon.com/blackmanthink. Go there, subscribe, get the bonus content. You help us out. We're helping you out by giving you that content. And tell a friend so we can continue to do this podcast and elevate black men. Because we be out here thinking, for real. I think that's like...
I like that.
I like that. Man. That was
Elevate black men.
because
We
we
be out here
thinking.
thinking. That's it, man.
That's it.
We'll see y'all next week, man. We out, man.
I like that.
The Black Men Think Podcast.